Hello and welcome to How to Manifest a Miracle in Your Love Life. Please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat if you haven't done that yet. Let us know where in the world you're joining us from today. It's always so beautiful to see people from around the world and connecting through this work. Thank you, everyone joining. And if for those of you who are new to my community, I do want to extend a very warm welcome to you. I'm Jennifer Zendel, a certified Calling in the One coach. I support singles to clear the inner obstacles that have been keeping love away so that you can become magnetic to love and finally manifest the relationship that your heart has been yearning for. Calling in the One is a transformational process created by my mentor, Catherine Woodward Thomas, and it's already helped hundreds of thousands of people around the world to create powerful breakthroughs in love. And I feel deeply honored that I now get to guide others through this work, including you. And as you open up to the true possibility of creating a miracle in your love life. I'm just checking the chat again here as well. A minute to just to make sure that people can hear me. And you're saying yes, that you can. Very good. And for some reason, I already feel like I have a frog in my throat. All right, so I'd like to ask you as well to be generous with yourself and with me today. There's so much that I want to share with you, and I want to make sure that we have time for your questions. So please do plan to stay on with us for about 75 minutes, which is a little bit longer than you may have planned, and I'll stay on at the end for some Q&A at the end. You might also want to grab a pen and paper because you're probably going to want to take some notes. So let's take a minute here to truly arrive together. I invite you to turn off distractions, silence your phones, close other windows on your computer, and really let go of multitasking. Because your love life matters, your heart matters, and this time is for you. So you're here because something in your heart still believes in love, even if you've been disappointed, hurt, or had your hopes dashed in the past. And that desire for love is where the miracle begins. So let's take a minute here and check in with your heart. What would it mean for you to truly manifest your person this year? It might mean waking up next to someone who adores you and shares your values. It might mean feeling safe, chosen, and cherished, not just sometimes, but consistently. It might mean creating a relationship that uplifts the people around you, even showing your friends, your family, and your children what love looks like when it's truly healthy and whole. So, you having love truly matters. And that's what we're here for today. Before we dive in, I want to give you a sense of what you can expect in our time here together today. We're going to be walking through the 4 essential steps to manifest a miracle in your love life. And yes, miracles are real. And yes, you can consciously and intentionally create them. And yes, there is a system for manifesting miracles, a structure and a path. And when you learn to walk that path with clarity and commitment, that's when the real transformation happens. Now, the truth is, though, that our culture hasn't been taught how to manifest love this way. And so we actually have to see that you have been longing for a partnership. And while you may feel stuck, confused, and hopeless about manifesting a partner, you might even also be blaming yourself, and that's even worse. But what I'm going to be sharing with you here today is actually a map for a heart-centered, proven system that will help you clear what's been in the way and partner with the greater forces of life so that you can finally become magnetic to the love that you desire. I'm going to be walking you through the number one shift that you absolutely must make in order to manifest your soulmate and what it takes to really be a powerful manifester of love. I'll also be sharing with you 4 essential keys that open the door to miracles, not just love, but truly happy, healthy soulmate love. And that would be a miracle, right? I'm also going to be sharing with you about my upcoming 8-week Calling in the One group coaching program, because this is where I'm going to guide you step by step in applying these principles that we're talking about here tonight and the practices to your life. We already have people signed up for the 8-week program, and there are still a few spots left. So I'd love to have you join us. And I'm also going to be sharing with you a gift for those of you who stay on until the end of the call. And this gift will be a beautiful way to anchor into what you're learning here on our call today and to begin to shift your energetic field right away. So stay with us. And by the end of our time together today, you'll understand the steps that you need to follow to co-create a miracle in your love life, one that feels aligned, inspired, and truly led from your heart. So let's get started by talking about manifesting first, because in reality, you're always manifesting. But the question is, are you doing it consciously, or are you doing it unconsciously in a way that creates more of what you don't want? If you're not fully aware of how manifesting really works, then you're very likely manifesting from the part of you that's disconnected from your power, manifesting from old fears, false beliefs, and heartbreak. And the truth is if we don't shift how we're manifesting, we're just going to keep repeating painful patterns, no matter how much we may hope and pray for something to be different. So let me know in the chat. Have you already been trying to use the law of attraction to manifest love, using things like vision boards, affirmations, journaling, but still only getting mediocre results? If you have, I know that many people here on the call can relate to that. You're not alone. And here's what's probably happening in that case. You're likely missing some of the key ingredients that actually make the law of attraction work for love. Our culture teaches a system of creation that's logical, linear, and control oriented. That system is helpful if you're building a house, for example. You want to drop a blueprint, you want to get your materials, hire the workers, and step by step, the house will appear. But manifesting your soulmate is not like building a house. You can't map out every step in advance. You can't predict when or how your miracle of love is going to show up because miracles don't follow logic. They arise from something deeper, a partnership with life, with spirits, with your own future self, and with the energetic connection that you and your beloved soulmate already share right now today. And so that's why today we're going to explore a very different kind of system, a system for manifesting miracles in your love life. So we're going to be talking about where your power to manifest power really comes from, how to stop unconsciously blocking love, and how to co-create with life in a way that makes you magnetic to your soulmate. Does that sound exciting, right? And so let's dive in and get started with the 4 essential steps to manifesting a miracle in your love life. And as I'm going along, I do see some people putting some questions into the chat, which is great. And I am going to make some time at the end of the call to go back and look at the questions that were put into the chat and answer questions then as well. All right. So I do see someone as well saying that you're experiencing a freeze. Hopefully it's not me freezing, but let me know. And is it me that has frozen, or is it a couple of you maybe that have internet connections? I hope it's not mine. I apologize if I'm having internet issues, creating a problem. Fine here, someone says. Okay, great. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start with talking about step 1. I'm talking about 4 essential steps to manifest a soulmate. All right, so step 1 to manifest a miracle in love is to clear away the inner love blocks that have been keeping love away. So this first step actually has 4 key parts, and all 4 of these parts are deeply important. You can't manifest a miracle on top of a foundation that's unstable or rooted in fear. So let's slow it down and get honest and look together at what's been in the way, not because anything is wrong with you, but because really you deserve clarity, freedom, and love that lasts. And so let's really unpack what's been happening here, right? Before we explore what's been blocking love, we need to recognize how the love blocks have been showing up in your life through your relationship patterns. What essential relationship patterns have you been repeating in your love life? Maybe, for example, you tend to get involved with emotionally unavailable people. Maybe you've dated people who ghost or disappear without explanation. Maybe you're the one who always gives more while others pull away. Or maybe no one even asks you out. Maybe you go to events, you put yourself out there, and still nothing happens for you. So go ahead and share in the chat. What patterns have you been noticing in your relationships or your dating life? And I've just given a few examples because there are a lot more patterns that might be experiencing, that you might be experiencing. It is helpful if you put in the chat what you've been experiencing, because then, or even as we're going along, because then I have a sense of how what I'm saying is being received, if you're understanding what I'm saying, or if something needs some clarity. So I'm seeing people saying that you are dating fearful, avoidant people, um, or that you have experienced some of the things I've mentioned, or that it's not, I'm not sure, Claudia, whether you're saying that you personally have no drive or motivation to improve, or whether the people that you're dating don't have motivation to improve. But these are some of the patterns that some of you are experiencing, and I'm sure that you're not alone, right? These patterns aren't random. They're being generated from within you. And that's not a reason to shame or blame ourselves. Instead, we really just want to be very curious about what's going on internally that's creating these patterns. This awareness is the starting point of creating your miracle. At the core of every painful pattern in love is what we call your false love identity. And in the Calling in the One program, this is the number one inner love block that you must shift in order to manifest a miracle in your love life. Your false love identity is a set of deeply embedded beliefs, often unconscious, beliefs about who you are and what's possible for you in love and how others see and treat you. These beliefs might sound like the people I want never want me. I'm too much or not enough. Men can't be trusted. Women just want me for my money. Love never works out for me. These are just some examples of what a false love identity might sound like. But here's what's important. These aren't just passing thoughts that you're having. They live in the somatic energy of your body. They influence your tone of voice, your posture, your facial expressions. They influence your choices and your actions. They influence who you allow into your life or don't allow into your life. And that's how your false love identity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And yet, for the most part, this is all happening outside of our conscious awareness, especially when things are calm in your life. It's hard to see it. So, for example, if I asked you right now, do you believe that you're worthy of love? Most of you would say, yes, I've done my work. I know I deserve love. But the answer is coming, that answer is coming to you in your good moments, right? Where you're not triggered right now. You're not emotionally triggered in this moment, right? So I invite you to think about this. When you feel disappointed, when you feel rejected or triggered in love, what do you tell yourself in that moment? Right? What do you tell yourself in that moment? When you're feeling triggered, when you're doubting whether love is possible for you, when you're feeling nervous on a date, when you're afraid that someone's going to break up with you. What happens internally? Where do you go internally in those kinds of moments? See, that voice, that one that says, see, I'm not wanted. This always happens to me. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe this is never going to work out for me. That voice is your false love identity talking. And those are also the make or break moments that will shape your future. Because when you're centered in your false love identity, you're going to unconsciously respond in ways that sabotage what's possible, even when you're really trying to create something good in your life, when you're trying to allow something wonderful to come into your life. So when your false love identity is activated, it's not just a thought. It's actually a somatic experience, and it might feel unstable or out of control. You might feel a rush of urgency to try to fix something or prove something to someone. You might feel compelled to push someone away before they can hurt you. Or you might say, I wasn't that interested anyway, even when you really were. So we need to start to interrupt that reactive experience that's happening in your body that feels destabilized. And we need to learn how to shift it. This is what we call shifting centers. And so these moments, when you're triggered in the false love identity, these are the make or break moments that decide your future. Because when you're centered in your false love identity, it will cause you to do things and show up in ways that sabotage what's possible in that relationship. And it may feel, on some level, it may feel like this is just who I am, and this is just the way things are for me always. But the truth is that you learned that way of responding. You adapted to past pain, and now those reactive patterns are working against the love that you want the most. Now, many of us have tried to figure this out logically by analyzing it, right? We say things like, well, I don't trust men because my dad left. Or I can't let anyone in because my mom was really controlling and I don't want to be controlled like that. Or we might say things like, I always sabotage things because I wasn't treated well in my past relationships. And so while these insights about understanding ourselves can be helpful, they rarely create change. In fact, many of us have spent many years in therapy trying to heal, analyze, and fix ourselves. Does anyone relate to that here? Spending years in time in therapy, assuming that if we could just figure it out, we'd finally be free. But here's the problem. Insight alone doesn't create the shift that you're needing. Insight alone doesn't shift the center of your being. It doesn't transform your identity, and it doesn't transform your sense of self that's running your love life. And until that shift happens, you're likely just going to keep repeating the same patterns that you've had. And this is why learning new behaviors or saying affirmations to try to manifest love hasn't been working, because your body pulls you right back into the familiar patterns. So what does create a shift? You have to learn how to shift centers. Where are you centered internally in your energy, right? So are you centered from that small, wounded, protective self? Or are you centered in the deeper truth, the part of you that knows your true, authentic value, your true power, and your true possibility for having great love? Now, this doesn't mean that you need to be totally healed or perfectly confident all the time or in perfect self-love before you can let love come in. But it does mean that you need the ability to recognize when you have been pulled into the false love identity center, and you need to learn how to pivot back into your true love identity. And this is when you can start to recognize, once you've done that, this is when you can see a lot more clearly, with a lot more clarity, and you can see, oh, all that's happening here is I actually need to grow myself in the direction of my desire for love. I just need to become the person, the version of myself who would actually naturally manifest and sustain a great relationship. But until you shift at that level, that core sense of self is going to, until you shift into that core sense of self, it's going to be short-lived. Any changes that you try to make will be short-lived because you're going to have too many blind spots that are still showing up for you. So let me share with you an example of what this looks like in real life, right? So let me tell you about my client, Diana. When Diana first reached out to me, she was devastated because her partner had just ended their relationship and he'd moved out of the home that they had been sharing together. She was heartbroken, but deep down she knew why it had happened. She had been scared to let him in, scared to let him into her heart and to let him love her. She had been terrified that if she leaned on him too much, that if she showed too much need for this relationship, he'd disappear, just like everyone else had in her past. And so she coped the only way that she knew how. She put up walls. She withdrew. She told herself that she didn't need anything in this relationship. And she was doing it to try to protect herself from the pain that she'd experienced in her past. She had a good reason. But in doing this, she created the very thing that she had been afraid of, that he would leave. So she created what she most feared. When we began working together, Diana and I, We uncovered the false love identity that had been quietly running her relationships for decades. Her false love identity was I'm not lovable and men always leave me. And together we began gently and skillfully unwinding it. And we began shifting her into a true love identity center so that she was truly aligned with what was possible for her. That true love identity, where she truly felt at the core of her being, I have the power to create love that is secure, lasting, and deeply fulfilling. I'm safe to open. I'm worthy of a partner who's devoted to me. And so when she was centered in that deeper truth, she began showing up differently in the world. She began behaving differently. She began naturally making different choices and taking different actions. She was more open. She was more available. She was more real. She started letting herself be supported by people, and she stopped trying to manage and control everything. And then something incredible happened. Her partner came back and he said, I can feel how much you've changed. They reconnected more deeply than they ever had before. And a few weeks later, he proposed. Isn't that an amazing story? Right? So I want to ask you, what are you starting to see about your false love identity? What beliefs might be quietly shaping your reality? Right? What beliefs might be internally running the show that then cause you to behave in certain ways that are pushing people away without you even realizing it. This is the starting point. This awareness is the starting point, and you don't have to stay stuck here though. In my 8-week Calling in the One group coaching program, we use a powerful 7-step process to identify your unique false love identity. Remember, the false love identity is a belief system. So we have to see, what is it that you're believing about yourself? What is it that you're believing about men or women and how they feel about being in relationship with you? What is it that you're believing about your possibility for love? That's what we call your false love identity. So in the program, I use a 7-step process to shift you into your true love identity so that you're truly anchored in your authentic value. And that will support you to relax and also show up in a way that's more aligned with your value. Show up in a way with taking actions, making choices that are truly aligned with your desire for love. In the program, we've identified 21 core false identities, and we've identified specific behaviors and specific patterns that are connected to each one of those false love identities. And so once we know what yours is, it becomes very clear how to shift your actions, your energy, and your choices so that you're finally aligned with the love that you desire. And when you show up that way, people will feel it. They will respond differently to you, and miracles start to happen. So I want to move on to the second love block. We're still in step 1 here. Remember, step 1 is about clearing out the love blocks. So the second love block is old resentments, the kind of resentment that stays stuck in your heart from past relationships, betrayals, or painful disappointments. And if you're carrying around unresolved resentments, you're not wrong. You were hurt. But here's the truth. Unreleased resentments quietly erode your ability to trust. Not just trust other people's, but trust yourself. And without that trust, your heart won't fully open. You won't fully allow yourself to receive something amazing and wonderful into your life. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I'll never let anyone hurt me like that again? That's a protective mechanism, and it keeps love out. In the Calling in the One program, we go deep in dissolving these resentments with honor and clarity so that you can open your heart again without fear. The third love block is about toxic ties and codependent dynamics, and this one's big. Toxic energy can linger and root down, leaving you feeling emotionally drained, and it can cause you to worry about recreating more toxicity in your life. When those dynamics are present, part of your system doesn't feel safe inviting in new love because it might feel like love is dangerous, messy, or painful. And so instead, you might find yourself keeping people at arm's length or unknowingly even recreating the toxicity again and again. And we don't overcome this just by cutting people off. We need instead to learn skills, emotional skills, energetic and practical skills for how to hold boundaries, how to navigate challenging people, and how to create safe space for love to enter into our lives. And until we learn these skills, there's a part of ourselves that doesn't really trust new love to come in and stay safe. Have you ever felt like a part of you is afraid to bring someone home, someone to meet your family, because maybe the family pattern has a lot of chaos in it, or maybe there are old patterns that are toxic, right? And so there's a real fear here, and it's important to shift this if you really want to feel free and liberated to bring love into your life so that you can powerfully call a miracle into your love life. Now, not all of these blocks might resonate for everyone. So I just want you to focus on the ones that resonate for you, all right? The fourth love block, let's talk about that one. The fourth love block is old agreements, promises that you may have made, often unconsciously, that are now limiting your ability to move on and bring love into your life. Now, these old agreements might sound something like either I can have love or I can have a career. I have to choose between being a good parent or being in a relationship. Or again, I'll never let someone get close to me like that again. That's an agreement that we make with ourselves to not let love in. So we have to really see what are these agreements that we've made, whether they're conscious or unconscious. Sometimes these agreements are made with others, sometimes they were made with ourselves, and sometimes they're still active from a past relationship that ended years ago, but some part of you hasn't energetically let go of that agreement. So I'm curious, do you notice any either or beliefs or agreements that have been playing out in your life? Let us know in the chat. And to manifest a miracle, we need to renegotiate these agreements, not just in our mind, but in the energetic space in our hearts, and start to live in alignment with the new agreements that actually will support love to come to us. So let's wrap up step one. Again, we're talking about step one, which is about clearing out the inner love blocks. So I said there are 4 love blocks that we work on. So one is your false love identity. These are the beliefs about what's possible for you in having love, beliefs about yourself, beliefs about how men or women feel about being in relationship with you. The second love blocks is old resentments. The third love blocks is toxic dynamics. And the fourth love block is old agreements. You can't call in a soulmate love from a place of fear, protection, or self-rejection and self-abandonment. You must clear the path and return to wholeness within yourself. And so this is exactly what we do in the Calling in the One journey. And it's the first pillar in manifesting a true miracle in your love life. As I shared these 4 love blocks, which one resonated with you the most? Which one do you feel really ready to start shifting? Let us know in the chat. And now also let's move on to step 2. Step 2 in manifesting a miracle in your love life is to create an empowered partnership with life. Once we've begun clearing out the inner love blocks, the next step to manifesting a miracle is to really connect with life as your partner. Because even if you're doing everything right on paper, working on your mindset, trying new strategies, going to events, and connecting with other people, if deep down you don't believe that life supports your desire for love, you're going to keep getting in your own way. So here's the question I want you to ask yourself here. Do I truly believe with every fiber of my being that life is conspiring on my behalf to bring me together with my soulmate? So just put a yes or a no in the chat, and I'll say the question again and ask yourself, do I truly believe 100% with every fiber of my being that life is conspiring on my behalf to bring me together with my soulmates? Right? Life is trustworthy, that it is happening, that you are supported. Now, think about it this way as well. So, when you're answering your yes and your no in the chat, so I'm asking you to reflect not just in the now moment, where everything is fine and you're not triggered. Because you may say, yes, of course I believe that. But again, you're probably not triggered in this very moment, right? So we have to look at our beliefs from the moments when you had a harder time, when someone just ghosted you, when you just had your heart broken again, when the people that you really like didn't like you back. In those moments, when you experience nervousness, disappointment, doubt, in those moments, what do you really believe about life supporting you? I want to share with you another story. I once worked with a woman, let's call her Maria, who was deeply religious. She loved God with all her heart, and she lived to serve God. And she truly believed that her relationship with God was grounded and supportive and life affirming. But when we reached this step of the program, something surprising came forward. She realized that she had a secret belief that she was even afraid to admit out loud. But once she admitted it to herself, really, she was shocked and things started to shift. She saw that she had a deep belief, if I fall in love, it's going to distract me from serving God. And he wouldn't want that. He doesn't want me to have love. So there was this part of her that really believed that God would withhold love from her just to keep her devoted to him. And so that belief had quietly shaped all of her dating experiences and all of her relationships because she would meet someone wonderful and then sabotage it. And so she never truly allowed herself to fully open because deep down she was afraid of being disloyal to her faith. And so this realization was really heartbreaking for her, but it was also freeing because once she really saw the unconscious story that she'd been living inside of, she could begin to transform it and reconnect to a vision of God as loving, generous, and supportive of her desire for a loving partner in her life. And when she did that, her love life shifted. So many of us are walking around assuming, well, of course I believe that life supports me. Of course I trust the universe. But if you look closely, you might find that that's only partially true because there may be a deeper hidden story going on. Stories like life gives love to other people, but not me. I can I can do everything right, but life still won't help me have love. Love must not be in the cards for me. Maybe I've done something wrong. Maybe life is punishing me. See, these beliefs are sneaky and they undermine your power to manifest. And so part of this step is getting radically honest with ourselves. What do I really believe about whether life supports me to have love? And so the good news is here, once we start to transform these beliefs, your manifesting practices can start to work. That's when the fun actually begins. Now, let's clear up a common misconception about manifesting. Manifesting is not hoping, it's not wishing, it's not praying on your couch and waiting for your soulmate to fall out of the ceiling. And yet, when I ask singles what they're doing to manifest love, I often hear things like, I'm praying about it. I'm doing affirmations. I'm putting it out to the universe. And listen, there's nothing wrong with those practices. But if that's all you're doing, it's not enough. Because manifesting is about partnering with life. It's not passive. It's not waiting. Instead, it's about deeply listening and then following through with inspired action. And so the second piece of step two here is knowing how to act in harmony with your desire rather than against it, rather than acting against it, which is what most people are doing. And so now this doesn't mean running around doing everything that the dating gurus tell you to do, because that's exhausting, frankly, right? Who here on the call has been exhausted? Right? I think probably almost everyone would say yes to that, right? So you may have already tried all that, joining all the apps, going to all the singles events, watching hours and hours of YouTube videos, and ending up totally burnt out. Am I right? That's what I call regular action. And that regular action is fueled by fear and pressure and shoulds. But what I'm talking about here is something very different. Inspired action is guided action. It feels alive. It feels exciting. It feels aligned. And it's the kind of action that flows from a deeper knowing. It might look like reaching out to that person that you felt a certain nudge about. It might look like joining a new community that lights you up. or saying yes to a new experience, even if it scares you a little bit and feels a little bit out of your comfort zone. It might look like finally booking a support session with a coach who you've been putting off connecting with. The key here is inspired action is not random. It's not frantic. It's co-created with something greater than you, with life. And so step two is ultimately about learning how to listen and respond, how to recognize an inner knowing that says, go here, talk to that person, say yes to this, and then following through. In the Calling in the One group program, we'll help you guide you to do this. I'll guide you to grow this relationship with life, the universe, or God, whatever language resonates with you. The program is not based in any one belief system. You bring your beliefs about life, God, universe to the program, and I will teach you how to cultivate trust, receive guidance, and partner with the unseen in powerful, grounded ways. Because manifesting really is a listening practice followed by inspired action. And when you live that way, when you're active in the relationship with life, then you no longer feel alone in this process. You no longer feel like you have to force or figure things out on your own because you begin to feel supported, held, and guided. And that's when miracles can happen. So if you're feeling already the power of this process, if you're thinking, yes, this is exactly what I need, then I want you to know I've created a space for you to walk through this practice guided step by step. And so I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. But if your heart is already saying yes, just know that the doors are open for registration for my 8-week Calling in the One group coaching program. And I'd love for you to be a part of it. But let's talk about step three now, about manifesting a miracle in your love life. Because once you've been releasing the inner love blocks and you've cultivated an empowered, real relationship with life, it's time to step into step three of manifesting a miracle in your love life so that you can begin living from your future. That's what step three is about, living from your future. And this is where the process gets really powerful and exciting. Not just because we're talking about hoping for a better future. Instead, we're actually embodying that future here right now. And so this step is about activating the version of you who is already happy in love and then choosing to live from that version of you right now. So in the Calling in the One program, we call this future version of you your possible self. Your possible self is the woman or man that you are becoming, the one who is aligned with the life and the love that you desire, the one who's already in the relationship that you dream about, the one that feels safe, secure, and happy in love. And that's not far away. That version of you is not far away. It's not imaginary. It already exists in you. It's your potential. And the more that you connect with that version of you, that possible self, the more powerfully you begin to magnetize that into your reality. It's important to know that living from the future requires us to activate desire. Your desire for love is not something to be ashamed of. It's not something needy. It's actually magnetic. This desire is the compass that orients you towards your higher self, towards your true self. And most people don't really let themselves fully feel that desire. Why don't they feel it? Because they're afraid. They're afraid it's never going to show up. Can anyone here on the call relate to that? Feeling afraid that it's never going to show up, afraid that your hopes are only going to be disappointed again, and afraid to want something more because you don't know how it's going to happen. Again, this points us back to step one. Remember, step one is about clearing out those inner love blocks. And so your false love identity here is running the show because in this way, desire is feeling painful. It feels out of reach. It feels not possible. And so in this case, you might feel like you're suppressing the desire because you don't know how to bring it into reality. And so I just want you to know if you struggle to feel the pleasure of your desire, it doesn't mean you're broken. It just means that there's some clearing to do in step one still. And once you've begun dissolving those blocks, once you've begun trusting life again, then we get to play in the energy of what's possible. And so I want you to ask yourself right now, what does future mean? In fact, you might even close your eyes here for a minute and just sense into this possible self. What does the future me look like? How does he or she move through the world? What does he or she believe about love, about herself or himself and what's possible? How does she handle disappointments? How does she hold herself in joy, knowing that love is here and possible? And here's the real question. How can I begin showing up like that version of myself right now? If you saw anything, put it in the chat and let us know. Living today as if your future is already here. This is the heart of step 3. And letting your possible self guide your decisions and your choices, choosing actions that are consistent with the you who's already living your dream of having love. And when you do that, when you shift from waiting for love to embodying love, life begins to recognize itself as your new center. Life sees that love is your center. And you begin showing up differently. You begin attracting different experiences, different people. You begin showing up in the world in a way that is magnetic to the love that you desire because you're no longer reaching for the future. Instead, you're living from the future. In Calling in the One, we go deep into how to embody your possible self. We show you exactly how to identify this future version of you, how to activate that energy in your body, and how to walk through the day as if this is your lived reality right now, so that your future isn't something that you're hoping for. It's something that you're living from, moment by moment, breath by breath. This is where the miracles happen. So if you, now that we've walked through the first 3 steps of this transformative manifest a miracle in your love life guide here, clearing your inner love blocks, partnering with life, living from your possible self of the future, something powerful might be starting to awaken for you. It might feel like this actually could happen for me. And that's where we really want to pause and ask, how do we actually do this? How? You might even be wondering that already yourself right now. How do I do this? How do we move beyond just knowing what to do and instead being it, doing it, feeling it, living it every day? That's the how, right? That's exactly what the Calling in the One program is for. And I'll be guiding a small group of individuals through an 8-week group coaching journey. And it starts Wednesday, July 23rd. It's happening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, adjust for your time zone wherever you are in the world. These are live sessions happening on Zoom where I walk you through actual practices and you repattern the energetic false love identity. You repattern your experiences that you've had in love. You receive the support, the accountability, and you're connected to a heart-centered community. And so if this is really resonating with you, what I've been sharing here, type I'm ready in the chat and let us know, right? If you feel like you're someone who is lit up and ready to move forward with that kind of support, it's really helpful to know, right? I'm going to put some details into the chat where you can go and get all the details about signing up. And in fact, someone just asked, how do you get the early bird special? There is an early bird special that is happening right now. And there's also a bonus for those who sign up today in the program. So I want to do a screen share here, and I will share with you some of the details about how you can join us for the program. And I'll let you know here as well that there is a special bonus for today only called Visioning Love in 2025. And so this bonus training you get right away. You don't need to wait for the program to start. And it's a training that you receive where I will help you map out your exact path to manifest love this year. You'll learn how to activate your desires as a manifesting tool. Remember, I was talking a minute ago about activating your desires. That's important. You'll also learn how to align with your deepest intentions for love and gain crystal clarity on your path to manifest soulmate love this year. So this bonus is only available to those who sign up by the end of day today. So the Calling in the One 8-week group coaching program, I'm not going to read all this. You can come and click the link and read some of these details yourself. But in just a few weeks, I will help you identify, release, and transform the painful patterns and the false love identity that's been sabotaging your love life. I'll support you to awaken to your true love identity and the truth of your value and your worthiness to have great love in your life. I'll guide you to create a powerful vision of happy, healthy love and begin showing up as a powerful co-creator of the future of love in your life. You're going to learn new skills and tools to create a great relationship with the one that you call into your life. And all of this will support you to become wildly magnetic to the perfect partner for you. In session one, we gather together as a group and we all talk about what your past patterns in love have been. We start to talk about as well how they have been happening through you and not just to you, so that you can start to shift and evolve those patterns. We're also going to be setting a powerful intention as we start your journey to love. Session two, preparing for love. You're also going to learn here the most important things that you can do to stay empowered and grounded in your vision for happy, healthy love, no matter what happens in your life. Remember, I've been talking here about how it's really important to know when we're triggered and to learn how to stay empowered in those moments. You're also going to discover some powerful manifesting practices that will open you to receive love into your life. So we're already going to start having fun with manifesting practices in the second session. Session three is devoted to 3 of the love blocks that we've talked about tonight. We're going to be talking about releasing toxic dynamics, resentments, and old agreements, and releasing the energetic ties that have tied you to past relationship through those love blocks. Session 4 is devoted to transforming your love identity. Remember, that's the #1 love block that is important to change in order to transform your love life. I'm going to support you to name very clearly what your false love identity has been and how it's been showing up in your love life and creating your love life up until now. I will guide you to connect with your true love identity and see how you can start to shift and show up differently in your dating experiences to change your love life going forwards. Session 5 is the turning point of the program, because at this point of the program, we have released the love blocks and now we're shifting towards the future, towards living from that future self that I talked about a minute ago, the possible self of the future. Session 6 is really about self-love and creating a foundation of commitment that you want to receive from a partner, so that you really truly feel grounded in your connection with yourself and what's possible for you. Session 7 is where you become the strongest and healthiest version of yourself. We transform any disempowering beliefs that are still there about men, women, family, friends, so that all of your relationships are up-leveled. We also talk about growing new skills so that you really feel confident to navigate relationships well when your beloved shows up in your life. Session 8 is where we talk about accessing your intuition to help guide you to love. And we talk about really discovering how to navigate any challenges, disappointments, or setbacks that may happen as you continue on your journey to love, so that you really stay on the path and you stay committed to manifesting love. We're going to complete with a ritual closing ceremony as you welcome your beloved into your life. These sessions are happening on Wednesdays. We meet on Zoom. And there also will be book reading in between the sessions, where you're going to be doing some reading and journaling for yourself. There's also some amazing program bonuses, including 2 additional group coaching sessions happening on Saturdays. And the dates are here: Saturday, August 16th and Saturday, September 6th, happening from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And these 2 bonus sessions are really to support you to get all your questions answered. There's also going to be a private Facebook group just for those who are in the program, so that you're really supported in between the sessions and you can connect with each other for support as well. I'll be engaging regularly in that group, answering your questions. And then here's an amazing bonus that I love. It's the 4 key soulmate indicators that help you stop wasting time on the wrong ones and finally recognize your soulmate. And so this special training will put you on track to find the love of your life and quickly know who is worth investing your time and your heart and your energy with so that you're truly dating people who could be a good match and not getting overly invested with people who are not a good match. I also have some client testimonials of people and how this training shifted their experience of dating. I love this bonus. This bonus does expire on July 19th. Create your standout online dating profile. Let's face it, if you've done any online dating, you've probably experienced your eyes glazing over while reading dating profiles because they all sound the same. Am I right? So, how can you make your profile stand out in the sea of potential prospects so that your soulmate actually recognizes you and doesn't experience their eyes glazing over as they're reading your dating profile? And so in this training, I help you create a truly magnetic and authentic dating profile that will have your soulmate stop in their tracks and reach out to you. Here are some of the experiences of that I had when I was doing online dating, actual responses from men that responded to my dating profile. For example, that was the most enjoyable about me I've read. Absolutely fantastic. Hands down, the best profile I've read yet. I loved reading your profile. It's very refreshing in the sea of poorly written paragraphs, right? So I'm not going to read all these. You can come and read some of these, including testimonials about how people's dating experiences have changed after they got support for their dating profiles with me. I also have videos of people talking about their experience of the Calling in the One program. I love this testimonial from Mary, who did the last Calling in the One program. And I do want to say here that Mary is 69 years old. So if you are someone who thinks it's too late for you, if you're thinking that this program is just not going to work, so let's hear what Mary said. I heard about Jennifer's Calling in the One course at just the right moment. I'm 69 years young, and I was 5 years divorced, lonely, and not sure there was anyone out there who would want me. I was stuck in a rut and didn't know what to do. Jennifer helped me appreciate my worth, recognize old patterns that were holding me back, have the balance and energy to broaden my social life and have fun again. So I've been happy, living my best life, and my soulmate has walked in with open arms. Jennifer has a lovely, kind, cheerful, warm, and helpful holding presence. I can't recommend her enough to anyone who's longing for their beloved. Mary, 69 years old, manifested her soulmate during the 8-week program. If it can happen for her, it can happen for you. And there's so many other amazing, wonderful testimonials here as well. I'm not going to read all of these, but I invite you to come and read them because all of these stories are really amazing. So someone asked about early bird registration. Yes, early bird registration is 50% off of the regular tuition price. Regularly, it would be $7.95 to join us for this 8-week experience. But right now, you can sign up for $3.97 or 2 payments of $2.29. And early bird tuition ends this Saturday. So you can sign up, either pay in full or 2 payments. So you can do a payment plan of 2 payments of $229. So I would love to have you join us. And I do want to remind you that we have that special bonus for today only called Visioning Love in 2025. Remember that this bonus training is where I walk you through exactly how to activate your desire as a powerful manifesting tool, and I help you map out the clearest, most aligned path to bring in the love of your life this year with ease, support, and clarity, right? So I see, yes, you didn't miss. So someone asked, did you miss step 4? Not yet. We're going to go on to step 4 right now, right? But before we do that, I do want to invite you to imagine 8 weeks from now, feeling centered, having experienced profound shifts as you move to having love in your life, feeling attractive, available, and fully magnetic to the partner of your dreams. What would that be worth to you? You deserve that. You deserve to have a life where your soulmate is partnered with you. And all the work in this webinar is showing you why it matters. And yet the Calling in the One program is going to show you how to make it happen, right? That's the difference between why it matters versus how to make it happen, how to live it, how to actually create it from the inside out. Now, this program, the Calling in the One 8-week program, is a maximum of 12 people. and we already have people signed up. So there are a few spots left, and I invite you to join us. All right. So let's talk about step 4 of manifesting a miracle in your love life. If you have questions about the program, put them in the chat. I'm going to answer questions in a few minutes at the end of our call. But let's look at step 4 to manifesting a miracle in your love life. And I thank you again for staying on with me. I did mention at the top of the call, if you're able to stay on for, let's say, 10 or 15 extra minutes, then that will allow us to complete step 4 and also take some questions as well. All right. So step 4 is about creating a support system that can actually hold your vision for love with you to help bring it into life. And I call this your miracle love team. Because here's the truth, your desires don't just appear out of thin air. They arrive through people, through conversations, through opportunities, through connections, through the energy and the guidance that comes when we're connected with other people in the right way. And yet so many of us have struggled because we're trying to manifest love entirely on our own. We're trying to do it by ourselves. And the problem isn't that you're not good enough to do this. The problem isn't that you're doing something wrong. The problem is that you don't have enough of the right kind of support. And so in order to become truly a powerful manifester and not just a hopeful manifester, you need a community. You need accountability. You need mirroring and mentorship. You need structure and encouragement. You need a container that's strong enough to hold your transformation. So let's do a self-check-in here. Who is supporting you to manifest happy, healthy love right now? Who is supporting you? Who is standing for your vision? Who is helping you stretch out of your comfort zone? Who is helping you see your blind spots? Who is holding you accountable? And who is reflecting back to you what's truly possible for you? And so if your answer is no one or not many people, then it's not about working harder. It's about getting support. We need a support system to access new levels of energy, new insights, new possibility. We need a support system to help us go all the way. Think about it like this. In nature, geese fly in a V formation, right? And the reason for doing that, the reason for flying together in that formation is because that allows them to fly 75% further and faster than they would flying alone. And this is how it works for us too. In groups, when groups come together in a shared intention, a collective intention, they're 6 times more likely to achieve that intention. Even more striking is, listen to this. The American Society for Training and Development found that when you have a support system that provides you with accountability, guidance, and support, your chances of achieving your goal go from 10% all the way up to 95%. That study was done by the American Society for Training and Development. And so this is why support matters. This is why it's an essential step if you really want to manifest a miracle. This was the miracle webinar tonight, right? About how to create a miracle. That's what I'm standing for. I'm standing for you having a miracle. And yet you can't manifest a miracle on your own. And you don't have to manifest a miracle on your own. These 4 steps that we've talked about here today. Number 1, releasing inner love blocks. 2, partnering with life. 3, living from your future self. And 4, creating your powerful support system with a miracle love team. This is exactly what I can support you with in the Calling in the One group coaching program. So if you're feeling lit up, if you're sensing that this is what's been missing, and if you're ready to stop trying to figure out on your own, and actually get supported to make a miracle happen in your love life, then I'd love to invite you to join us for this transformational 8-week journey. And I'll support you through each of these steps that we talked about here tonight. So if you're never then left wondering how to do it on your own, right? You're never left wondering what to do or how to do it. We start Wednesday, July 23rd at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and we're going to meet for 2 hours each week for 8 weeks. If this webinar tonight has touched something in your heart, if the steps that we've covered lit up a vision in your soul, then I invite you to take the next step and join us. Show up for yourself, show up for the miracle of love that you desire. And so let's just do a final wrap up of what we talked about here tonight. And And as I do this, I invite you to put questions into the chat, and I'll stay on a few minutes to answer questions. So these are the 4 steps to manifest a miracle in your love life. Number 1, release the inner love blocks. Number 2, partner with life to bring in this miracle. Number 3, learn how to live from your future self, the possible self of your future. Number 4, create a powerful support system with a miracle love team. And the key here is that all of these steps work together. In order to be a powerful manifester, to create a miracle in your love life, all 4 of these steps work together. And that's exactly what we're going to do in the Calling in the One 8-week group coaching program. You don't have to keep wondering if it's ever going to happen. You don't need to keep trying harder alone, and you don't have to settle. This could be the turning point. There are a few spots left in the program, and I'd love for you to be the next person to say yes. I did mention as well that I have a free gift for those who stay on to the end of the call. And so as a thank you, I want to share with you a Manifest Your Soulmate meditation that I've had such great feedback from. And so everyone who signed up for the webinar tonight is going to be added to my email list. And in the first email, you're going to see a link to download that free meditation. And it will help you to really center into the energy of your future love, the future self that has love, and to open your heart to receiving that. And if the idea of doing this work with a guide and a community in real time resonates with you, and you're sensing that it's really time to make a shift in your love life, then I encourage you to go for it. I believe in you, and you don't have to figure this out alone anymore. Let's do it together. I can't wait to support you. All right, looking forward to having you in my community. Bye for now.